Thai family, and welcome to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray, family, that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life very much on your own terms. Reporting live and direct from 5D reality family, just sending you just all the good vibes, all the sunshine, all the because truly we are in a new dispensation. I'm not saying it's easy yet, because there's a lot of emotional things that are still happening, that is still clearing out. Because the more we clear, the more we over understand about our experience, the faster we move into a higher, more sophisticated weaving of reality, if I can put it out that way. But those are stories for the days. Don't forget, family, you can always reach out to me, Dr. Mumbi at drmumbishow.com. Keep it brief. Some of you are still writing me pages and pages. I feel honored, but just know, like, physically, I may have not read it, but I've connected. And when the spirit leads me, I'll definitely be in touch. And thanks to every single person that supports us on Patreon. We appreciate, love you so much. And everyone who sends us a love donation through PayPal as well. If you want to invest in the single, definitely consider getting it on Gumroad. And here's Errol. Yeah, my co-host for now. Family, it is so important at this time. I don't know if it's to have an animal, whether it's a dog, whether it's a cat. I've been a dog person, I've been a cat person, but it's so important at this time to make sure that you're in touch with nature and the animal kingdom as much as possible. Just because nature is what is going to save us. And I think I already did a show about that a couple of months ago. It's only nature that's going to save us, family. Nature is what is healing us. Nature is what is rejuvenating us. Nature is what is even removing years from our lives, family, where you wake up and you're like, whoa, wake up on a beach or you wake up in a forest and a couple of years have gone off your life, but those are stories for other days. A family, it is so important at this time to recognize that the narrative is everything. It is everything. And it's so important for you to realize that it's the narrative that has been used. I think Putin even said recently how the world had been made unconscious by the programming and media of the Western world and how they designed it. And it's ironic that then the Russian government went and created a pseudo, CNN in Russia today. All the major governments, family, have created one form of programming or another, where they get to spread their narrative and spread their version of the truth. And it's very sad that Africa has not been able to do the same. Those are things we've been calling for the last 5 years while we've been doing this, family. And it's sad that as we start to exit these platforms, as we also now move into our spiritual life, as we start to not interact with 3D as much as possible, it is sad that we don't have a space or a spaceship where we can gather our thoughts and take our people higher. Maybe it will happen. Maybe it will happen in the short time that we have, but it's very important to realize the seasons and the times that we are in, family. If you are a sensitive person, then 2023 has been intense. You've been feeling it. And there's so many portals that have been opening. And, as each portal opens, as we expand our consciousness and our thinking, there's so much that any residue has to be let go of. And it's like we have to learn to even let go of it faster, family. Let go of it more swiftly. And as I said, we are in the best of times and we are in the worst of times. For some of us, life has never been so good. But recently, there was a new moon around June 17th, family. But it wasn't so much the significance of the new moon as it was the return of Satan or the Saturn retrograde that a lot of people have been talking about. It's basically happening between now and until like November 4th. And you can do your own research because, astrologically, and especially, as I always say, family, whether you believe the astrology, whether you believe the narratives, if they are part of the group consciousness, then they are affecting us in one way or another. And it is our ancient ones who developed the systems of astrology and astronomy, even if they've been manipulated this way or that. And it remains a faint key that we can use to continuously lead our people out of the Babylon matrix. And so basically, from June 17th until November 3rd, we are in a season of serious judgment, family. And I would even add the wrath of the divine feminine, but I'll do a whole separate show on that. Because Saturn is actually what they named after Satan. I mean, they try to make you think it was this half man, half woman, Baphomet kind of figure. But it was actually the planet Saturn that they worshipped with all their blood magic and human sacrifice, etc., etc. And so Satan's return, or Saturn going retrograde in Aquarius, and remember, we are in the age of Aquarius. I don't want to get too astrology. Basically, what you need to know, and you can go ahead and do your extra research, but I know there's people here who really don't believe in astrology, but are trying to hold on like, okay, Dr. Mumbi, what are you saying? But, don't take us too far. But don't stretch us too far. I remember one time, okay, a side note. I remember one time we were hanging out with Irritated Genie when I was in Washington, D.C., before the Matrix started to really break down. And he was telling me a story about how this older woman had seen him, this elder, like a 70, 80-year-old woman. And all she could say to him is, don't take away my Jesus now. Don't take away my Jesus. So, it's all about narratives, family. That's basically, if I was to say nothing else, it's all about the narrative that you're in, the narrative that you're believing, the narrative that you're putting your energy behind. Because now that Saturn or Satan is returning, their Satan, we're in a season of judgment for the next, I don't know, 5 months, July, August, September, October, November, like 5 months, and five being the number of change. Interesting. Where it's all going to be about karma playing itself out. Where everything that has to do with your work and your destiny will also now be playing itself out. And where, really judgment is being called. And what this means for many of the chosen ones who have faced such obstruction, abortion of their destiny, so much abuse from the human reality, is that all those curses that were on you, all that juju, all that witchcraft, all the manipulation is done. It's lifted from your life. And as it's lifting, also return that energy to sender by speaking or praying or repeating several times that I return every spell, every slanderous word, every vicious psychic attack, every spell of obesity, juju, hoodoo, voodoo, curses sent my way. I lift them off my life by the grace of the Most High, who is the Great Mother, who is Maito. And I return it back to the one that sent it to me. And if you want to add a little oomph, as I usually do, tenfold, 100-fold, if they were as wicked as ever, 1,000-fold. Because all of those things are lifting, family. As I've told you before, a book of life has closed. I didn't know it would take this long to close it, though. It's like you're shutting it and it's like, you know what I mean? It's just taking so long because there's so much residue and stuff that has to fall off our life. And if you're sensitive, you've been feeling that we've been getting to the core trauma, the core issues, the core offenders, family. And let me tell you, We are in the season of karma. We honor the ancestors in the wind family as always. We are in the season of karma family. I know a lot of chosen ones have almost wanted to call it quits because it feels like the enemies of your soul won. But I am here to tell you that they just help to make you stronger. And ultimately, they lost without even knowing they lost until the very last minute. And you don't need to worry or think or feel any type of way because, stress diminishes the creative power of our minds. It makes our minds weaker, family. But we are in a special window that as karma is dealt, family, we can release all that. And all it's going to require is for you to be strong. Because those who did committed any offense against you are going to have to pay. And you can accelerate that payment by returning to sender. You don't even have to do any spell work or magic. Just return what was ever sent to you on this timeline back to those who sent it. And be strong, family, because I've been feeling it. How the enemies of my soul, just feeling a bit of pity for them. Because they never, ever, 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 ever imagined that this season and this time would come with us alive, here, able to declare judgment with our own words. And so, family, this is not the turn the other cheek season. This is karma and judgment. And karma and judgment is going to be called on the enemies of our soul. So prepare yourself. Get as far away, family, from the cities and from the matrix. Move into nature, move into heaven, move into Mama Earth as much as you can. And then sit back and watch. And this means that whatever karma, like whatever you did, family, in the last couple of years over your life, over lifetimes, is going to now be coming back to you, either in a positive way or in a negative light. But it is time to continue to close that book of life, family. We are this close to just shutting it down so that we can begin our new life, this 5D reality and higher. It's beyond a life of our dreams because some of the things that we will experience, we don't even have the capacity to envision yet. But those are stories for other days. Tuko pamoja.